Okay. Fine. So I hope that my voice is clear. I seriously believe that that is the best way revision can be done. That is awesome indeed. I hope that is awesome indeed. But oh, is it the chess champ? I don't know. Is it the chess champ? So, no, it's Saloni Gadkari, and this is Om Gadkari. Fine. How many 10 standard guys here? Also, let me know. Okay, we are conducting revision here at the moment for the 10 standard guys. I hope my voice is clear enough. I don't know. Yeah, you're in ninth, I know that. So is Saloni, by the way, hi. Hmm, is my voice clear? You should probably answer that question first. Are you able to hear me, you guys? Oh, thanks. That helps. Om Garkar, is that the same as? Are you? Are you the chess champ? Or that's Gadkari, I believe. I don't know. Hmm. So I think I just was checking whether this is an effective platform for solving all the doubts. Hmm. So this does work. And by the way, so many people could be here at the same time. Isn't that amazing? I'm gonna try this with the 10 standards someday. Yeah, so you're not the Om Gadkar. It's Gadkari, I believe, some other guy. Okay, sorry for confusing your identity with him. Alright. Okay. And now if you see that the stream quality has gone low. So let me stream again. Okay, is it clear now? I have no idea. I hope it is clear now. I am Katrap. Okay, Katrap other batch. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know who chess champ is. That's great because he is, I believe, from the same batch, right? Katrapadars or Carmeladars? Katrapadars. Anyway, what's up with you guys? What are you doing on this Wednesday afternoon? Tell me. Okay, there was some disturbance apparently. There was because the stream wasn't clear earlier. It is, I believe, clear now. So you guys need to tell me what's up. I mean, what are you doing? Had lunch? Studying? No. What are you doing? I hope you have PCC today. No. Ooh, test of science too. All right. Yeah, that's the one thing I can't teach you. In addition to drawing. So, what time is the test? I don't know. Oh, we can try doing. Uh, yes, thanks, Salone. What I did was I had stopped streaming for some time and I started it again. That's why I believe there was some disturbance, but now it is clear. Anyway, my point is that what time is the test? 4:30. Okay, 4:30 to 6:30. Mm-hmm. Now, what I'm going to try to do, or rather, what we all will try and do, is that we can see if this revision session really works. Let's say if I put up a grammar question for change the voice. I have seen this movie, and let's not make it bold, and change the voice. Okay, so if that's the question. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Someone has asked me the question, what is the difference between a gerund and a participle? Fatima, guys have exams. All right. So I'll deal with this one by one. Let us first deal with this change the voice. Do you see it on your screens? The line for change the voice? If yes, you can go ahead and start typing the answer. Hey, ICR batch PCC, brilliant. Now we have a 10 standard dude here, so I'm gonna go ahead and take his doubt first, okay? Yeah. Now the point is that uh, gerunds are nouns, okay? They do the work of a noun and they can be replaced with an infinitive. I believe if Himanshu, if you were there, um when we conducted our revision session this morning, then there was this example about listening, if you remember, okay? One of the one of the last benchers, okay? So gerund basically is a noun, and you can replace the gerund ing with an infinitive. Participle on the other hand is necessarily an action. Okay, so take a look at this particular statement I have. Okay, let's deal with this change the voice first. So I have seen this movie. Let's start with this movie has been has been seen by me. Okay, fine. And now for this particular statement, I was listening to some old songs. Okay, now I want you to understand the difference between this listening, which over here by the way is a participle, and compare this. Let's call this to A, okay, and let's call this next one as B. I like listening to old songs. Now over here, if you see that the word listening isn't an action which is going on. Understand this difference. Okay, understand the difference. I was listening to some old songs. There the action was in progress. I was listening. So the action of listening was happening, and that's participle. If you look at the B line, to be, I like listening to old songs. There, you're just saying, I like listening to old songs, not that you are or you were listening. So you can say, I like to listen to old songs. So that's why to be is a gerund and to a was a participle. Does that help? So what I mean is that to be, I like listening to old songs. You can replace that by saying I like to listen to old songs. Whenever you can do that sort of thing, it's a gerund. Was my voice very clear when I was explaining this? Because then the other SSC guys could also join us here. They could also benefit. Hmm. Because when it comes to unseen passages, we should rather have a screen as big as this. I really feel. Hmm. Our next session, we agreed when we were doing this on WhatsApp, we agreed that our next session is at 4. I was just wondering. Okay, Sagar Patil is asking us in time and on time. What is the difference? Okay, difference in time and on time. In time is completing it within a limitation or the maximum time that you can take, and on time is about punctuality. So let me again give you a very good example. So in time is within a time limit. Okay, within a time limit. That's in time. That's again called as 3a. And on time is being there, punctual. Okay, so can we consider examples here? Yes, we can consider examples. Like, I finished my paper on time, and I finished my paper in time. Now the difference between this is I finished my paper on time. I finished my paper. I finished my paper on time will mean that when the supervisor was almost there to collect it. But when you write something as I finished my paper in time, then that means that you completed the paper within the 3 hours given to you, something like that. And now he's asking me, look at that. Okay, with that one we'll discuss. We were doing it on WhatsApp, I know, and the answer actually should be this. Look at this newspaper here. If it was there, then you can say look at that newspaper there. You're right, Himanshu. It should have been this. And I believe that when we again regroup at 4 o'clock, that is the one thing that I can discuss. But have you understood the difference between in time and on time? I hope I was clear with it, Himanshu. Sagar, what is the difference between listen and hear? Okay, that's pretty simple. Listen is intentionally paying attention to it, and hear is when something falls on your ears. Not that you were intending to listen to it, but you just come across something, you hear something, something falls on your ears. Not that you were intending to listen or something. Just remember that. Fantastic. Okay, that's brilliant. Okay, I have a grammar challenge for all of you who are watching. Thank you, Himanshu. No problem. We will discuss that, Himanshu, when we regroup at 4. Just let me know if my voice was clear enough during my explanation, because only then will the people benefit from all of this. Because then, if you can see my photo properly, if you see my word pad properly, then the content, that means that the content is clear, my voice is clear, we can go ahead with this. Hello, Louis, how are you? Indian best wines. Okay, hi. Huh, thanks. So I don't know when Zui joined us, but the point, Zui, was that Himanshu just asked me the example. Look at the newspaper here. Like, you remember the determiner exercise? Yeah. So look at this newspaper here. That actually is the best way to do it. Look at this newspaper. If it was there, then look at that newspaper there. Look at this newspaper here. We will clarify that the moment we come online at 4. Okay. And who is this Indian best wines? Please specify your name, guys. I'm sure that's not what the name is. What's your name? And by the way, do you see the word pad very clearly, or do I need to make changes into that? You need to tell me that. If you do, let's start up with a very basic example of not only but also. It's from your lesson Nessa Money chapter. I believe it is You Moved My Life. And over there you have this beautiful example of Cynthia Nessemani. So I'm going to type that, and you can actually in the chat line type the answer if you want. I don't know how you can do that. Maybe you could do the same way we're doing it on WhatsApp. So Mrs. Cynthia Williams, I'm spelling it right, Nessemani, and Sister Monica, sorry, Sister Monica both taught me in school. So rewrite using not only but also. Is this clear? Hi, Weekly Shine. That is Sanskar. Hello. Fine. And Indian best wines. Your name is Harsh. Alright. Hello, Harsh. Well, if you see this line here, Mrs. Cynthia Nessemani and Sister Monica taught me in school. Use not only but also. This is your unit 7.2. Not only but also. And okay, not only, Zoo is typing it here. Not only did Mrs. Cynthia Nessemani, okay, I'll excuse the typo. Manaj, okay. Not only did Mrs. Cynthia Nessemani, but also Sister Monica taught me. Okay, I think that's the best. Here, by the way, if others are wondering, sir, can we exclude the word did? Well, yes, I guess yes, you can do that here. There's no doubt about that. You can absolutely and totally do that. I think there's no doubt about that. So you can say not only, how shall we put it across? You can say not only Mrs. Cynthia Nessemani, but also Sister Monica taught me in school. Okay, that's a very convenient other way of doing it. By the way, now I have a question. What is a free verse or blank verse? What is it, guys? What is a free verse or a blank verse? There are 9 people at the moment with us. That's a great thing. I'm sure if the others knew about it, they would join us. But this is a great idea. As long as my voice is clear and that you're enjoying, please give me constant feedbacks of how things are going. Okay, so what is a free verse or what is a blank verse? Okay, yeah, Himanshu. That's also another one that we did on WhatsApp. Um, you're right, in that particular sentence. Why I corrected with better was because it was corrected grammatically, but yes, typing wise it should have been code mixed because he is not exactly English, it's colloquial term, so in a way you could say that, but I won't risk only writing the code mixing part without writing better. So yes, you have to write that better part. You cannot say it smells best with ghee than. Okay, so Ritesh is saying that my voice is not clear. Okay, I repeat what I said, that you can say yes, the code mix part is correct, but you cannot say it smells best. You can say that it smells better. So that necessarily is the first thing you write. And in addition to that, yes, you can write about code mixing. Okay, fine. And now for the answer, free verse. So Harsh is saying, Harsh, also known as Indian Best Wine, is saying that free verse is an open form of poetry. It does not use consistent meter patterns. That means yes, it does not have a proper rhyme scheme. Can you guys tell me one such example? What is one such example? One such good example of one such good example of uh, blank verse or free verse from your poems. I believe Salute to the RD 8.4 can be a very good example of that. So just remember that point. Okay, let's continue with something more interesting. You do have a particular question about email drafting. There are so many people who have asked me, and believe me, that's the one question that could easily be asked. Yes, Zoe, you are right. The poem Salute to Our Day is a good example of that. The email drafting, your textbook does provide good um, information about the email draft. However, there are a few columns which are not really necessary. It's on page 110, you know. Okay, fog. What kind of poem is that? Are you referring to the name of the poem? Fog? I don't know. What are you saying? Mm-hmm. By the way, going back to my email draft before Harsh clarifies what he meant by fog, I'm saying that in email drafting, you have this on page 110 of your textbook. So you have those boxes, but Over there, the email box is this big blank space. Actually, that should be the to bracket, and then you should write whom you are addressing that email draft to. Please practice that question. Fog is poem of free verse. I was asking you the poems that you have. I was talking about the SSC syllabus here. Fog could very well be an example, okay, but then I thought maybe you're referring to something from the SSC textbook. All right, guys, time to do some unseen passage. What is the tone of the poem 4.4? I believe you're talking about the poem pollution here. That that is melancholic. Yes, it is melancholic, and it is reflective. But you can say definitely that it is very melancholic. I would use the word melancholic. Uh, yeah, melancholic. Can we go ahead and do an unseen passage? I mean, I'll go ahead and type that particular passage onto the Word file if that is okay. You don't have to write anything, you'll just have to read it and then do the questions. If my word pad is very clear to you on the screen, please let me know that, because you'll have to read whatever I would type there. I'm not perfectly sure of how you see it. If that is clear enough. My score 70%, Harsh. My score was 70%. At my SSC 1997. It is clear, thanks Joey. So let's go ahead and then start with an unseen passage. I will take a lot of pain and effort to type it. All that you have to do is just read it. Okay, so let's take it to this particular page. I will start typing this. Okay. If it is possible, I have it in a doc file. Let's see. Oh yeah, I can do that. Okay, so let me increase the font size for you guys. Okay. Now, how do you see it? Okay. Now, where do you want me to adjust the screen? I mean, how do you want me to do that? Maybe a font smaller than this? Let's try going one font smaller than this. Maybe then in that case you can see it completely. Okay. Does that help? Alright. That's it. I believe that now you can see the entire text. Negative is the last word. So you can go ahead and read it. Yeah. So the passage is from How Does Television Affect Our Lives Until Negative. Go ahead and read it. Now you guys need to tell me when you're done reading it, okay? In the chat, please tell me when you're done. Drew is done. Okay. Right, okay. How and yes, by the way, you should not type the answers over here in the chat. I believe the better way to do it is in the notebook, isn't it? Yeah. So I think the best way is that you have your pen and paper ready. The question one is, how does the television help the non-native speakers? Okay, that's your first question. How does the television help the non-native speakers? Hmm. How does the television help the non-native speakers? Okay, Ritesh is asking where to give the answers. Well, I think you better write it in the notebook, because if you type it in the chat, then people will simply get the answers. So it's better you write it down in your notebook, and then later when I reveal the answer, you can check, just like we did on the WhatsApp. If you type it here in the chat, everybody would see it. Right, Ritesh? Okay. Hmm. You're welcome, Ritesh. Are you done? The answer might be, guys, in front of you. It's just that you have to frame it properly, to rearrange the words a little bit here and there, and then write down the answer. Not that it is something difficult to spot. Okay, the answer is right over there in front of you. In fact, the non-native is already with a blue underline that you can see. It wants me to write it as non-native together. I am doing that. Now, here is the answer. Okay, this part over here, which I have um, you know, made bold. That part is the answer. I have no doubt that you've spotted that. So, hello Haripriya. Haripriya Singh. I hope your real name is Haripriya. Now, people joining us, you need to tell us what your real names are. Sometimes you don't use your own IDs. So, are you really Haripriya or someone else? I don't know. But anyway, going back to what the answers are, you have this particular thing as the answer. So that's your answer, I believe. And so how to arrange that? You should say that television offers non-native speakers the advantage of daily informal language practice, by using which they can increase their vocabulary as well as practice listening. So you should have clubbed those two lines together, and that was your answer. I hope you did that. Should be easy. Did you do that? Okay, another important thing before I forget is there are many schools even in Mumbai that have not allowed their students to use the new letter format, which is the left intended format. That's something that I want to discuss with you guys. So you probably don't want to risk the marks, although I maintain that that new format is correct, but it is so new, probably so alien to some examiners that they might find that a little puzzling. So do not go for, yeah, hello Dhwani, welcome to this video lecture. But yeah, coming to my point, I don't want you guys to also risk your marks by writing the new format of the letter. So better stick to the old one, because even some reference books which are very popular like Navneet and Vikas, those publications also have not actually given their letters using the new format. So I believe the world is not ready. So don't risk your marks and stick to the old pattern of the letter writing. So you remember the address goes on the top right over there. Instead of the top left, it goes top right. Yeah. If you have understood this point, please acknowledge in the chat. Okay. Stick to the old format in the letter writing. Don't go for the new one, because some books, some very well known publication houses also have not recommended that or used that while giving their model answers. So some schools have asked their students not to use the new one. So let's not risk our marks as well. And I have said this previously that social science teachers also correct your English papers. You don't want to risk your marks. Anyway, the next question is, what is the word apart from television that has been used for television? So you can see the word television being used for TV, of course. Is there any other word that has been used to describe the television? That's your next question. Okay. The last sixth line. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, Ritesh, it's not just the sixth last line. It's also there on the uh, third last line, I believe. Check out the third last line. Yeah, very good. Yes, Mehul, he is right. Yeah. Okay, now here is a question. Uh, yeah, it's about modal auxiliary. Television can increase our knowledge. It's a grammar question, so let's put this as question number 3. Great. Question number 3. The line is television can increase our knowledge. Now, your command is pick out the modal auxiliary, and not just that, rewrite using the modal auxiliary of possibility. Okay, try to do that. Surprisingly, Zui has not answered in a long time. Are you with us? I wonder. Okay. Funny. One is saying television may increase our knowledge. Hey, we agreed to do it in the notebook, but anyway, you've answered it. So television might increase our knowledge. Television may increase our knowledge. Or both are correct. I would go for may personally. Television may. That's better. But by the way, the first answer, and pick out the modal auxiliary. Over here, the modal auxiliary is, what is it? You have changed it correctly to the modal auxiliary of possibility, but what is the modal auxiliary there at that moment? Which is already there in the line. Can, absolutely, Mehul. That's correct. What does it show? Can is the modal auxiliary of, what do you think is the modal auxiliary of? Ability, that's right. Vivek and Clash. It's correct. Vivek and Clash, I hope your name is Vivek. I don't know. Alright. Now here is something different. Let's go for something that is possible to do only on this live session, which on the WhatsApp is pretty difficult to do. Yes, yes, Ritesh, ability is right. Mehul, Vivek, all of you are right with the ability. There's no doubt about that. Okay, good. Now my question is, we will go for a question here based on this rapid error, which is a person response question. Okay. Do you think it is right? Let's see, what was the question number? I have to go to the question number 3. Yeah, question number 4. Let's go for some personal response. Do you feel it is right when the parents get their cable connections disconnected when the exams approach? Why? Do you feel it is right when the parents get their cable connections disconnected when the exams approach? Why? So now this is something that you seriously should attempt, because such questions, you know, they are for 2 marks. I won't mind you know, chat, or rather posting your complete answer here in the chat. That's pretty okay, because this is something different. We've got 12 people watching us right now. So do you feel it is right when parents get their cable connections disconnected when the exams approach? It's a personal response. What do you feel? Is this stand by the parents correct? I mean, it's personal response. Defend it. Keep your answer ready. You can type it in the chat. Okay. Make sure that you use good vocabulary while you attempt this, because it's a question of 1.5 mark that you can get. Okay. Right. So guys, still doing it, huh? Hello to all those who have joined us now, because we are 13 people together now. When I say it's personal response, that means you have to think out of the box. Don't just keep looking at the passage for the inspiration. You have to use your own words. Alright? How many of you actually believe that it's the right stand? I would love to listen to your answers. Okay. So here is what Vivek says. Vivek says, I do think that it is right that parents disconnect the cable connection as it serves as a distraction for the preparation of words. Can't type more than this amount of letters. Okay. So he is quite lazy to type. But anyway, yeah, okay. So that stand can be considered okay if your answer is yes. Is there anyone who says no, that that's not what they should be doing? So Vivek, for this one, given the fact that you will definitely write more than this in the board, it should be 5 to 6 sentences. So yes, you will get 1.5 for sure. Very, very well done. It's okay that you can't type more than this amount of letters. Alright, but okay, sure. Yeah, you will get 1.5. 100% sure. Though anyone, I'm looking for someone who will say no, I do not agree. That it depends on an individual. What depends on an individual, Ritesh? The fact that they can type the answer, or whether parents should disconnect or let the connection be? I don't know. To be honest, when you study, a student has to study with all his mind. Don't you think so? So there could be someone amongst us, there's 15 guys here. There could be someone here who thinks no, that, they should not disconnect their cable connections, because all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. A little bit of breather, reliever, relaxation is necessary in between studies. Yes, I agree, Ritesh, that if the student is weak, then it is correct to cut off the connection. Zui thinks, I don't think they have a right stand. Talking of distraction, mobile phones and other media or sources can also be a distraction, and because of the exam pressure, students would not overdo, but TV would. Okay, I believe she has to complete that. But anyway, yeah, okay, so that's also. And let's not forget, guys, at the moment we are online, aren't we? But then, yes, we are investing our time, certainly. We are actually doing something very meaningful that might just help you tomorrow. Good afternoon, Gaurav. Gaurav Jagtap, right? Yes, the ICA batch. Hi. So we're 16 guys together. Okay, mind you, I'm now very soon going to do the glossary thing with you, which I did in the class as well. Because many people have asked me this question, sir, could you give us some good words to use in the letters and writing skills? I believe there are abundant words in your vocabulary, in your glossary, in your textbook that can help you do this. So let's ask you something. Do you know the meaning of the word unit 8.1, the word that I'm about to type now? Do you know this? Unit 8.1, the word carnation. What is the meaning of that? The textbooks will have enough variations. Dhani is saying, no, I don't feel it's correct. This is because it just gives the feeling that they do not trust them. Children do need some time to relax. Children can study how much she has decided. Okay, and then watch TV. Okay, fine. So you mean to say, just a grammar clarification, Dhani, over here. The children should study how much ever they have agreed, and then in their spare time they should watch TV, something like that. Sir, we can also write that instead of cutting off the connection, parents can put time limit. Yeah, sure, yes, you can say that. I think that's meeting halfway. That is actually not taking any one stand in particular. You can definitely say that the parents can set a limit on how much they watch the television and how much they study. So yes, I agree with you. That is one way of doing it. And yes, Ganesher, the meaning of that is expert in a certain field. What do you mean by certain field? Ganesher is an expert in the matter of art, food, Music. That's what Kaneshwar is. Ah, so guys, very important that Kaneshwar is someone who is some of them beauty, food, beauty. Ritesh, I'm not sure. Not sure about beauty, but art. Okay, art, food, music. I'll give that to you. Okay, and now we'll go to the next part. In fact, on page we will try to cover up the things which are there in the textbook. If you remember the activity about the collective nouns, we did that. Let's do this. This is from page 150 on the textbook. Let's see. Let's continue with this. It is choose the correct option. What happened here? You want me to capital C? Okay, I know. The first one. Please wait. Dash. We are ready. The options provided to you are till when let's do this on a fresh page. The second one is it is now 10 years. Okay. Add that to the dictionary, and now the options are as soon as, since, till. The next one is dash we didn't wait for the bus. We took a taxi. Your options are as, when, until. Alright, try to do them. Okay. So you agree the first one is still? Everyone agrees that the first one is still. Please wait till we are ready. That's right. It's correct. The second one. It is now 10 years since I have, right? Since I have, right? Since, yeah. It should have been since I have, to be honest with you. So even in the textbook, you have this mistake. Since we have, we can say we have, no doubt about that. Since we have visited Kodaikanal. Okay. Dash, the third one people think is as. As we didn't wait for the bus, we took a taxi. You all agree with that? The third one is as. Yeah, people do agree with that. That is wonderful. So that was something on the page 150 of your textbook. Just remember that this could be the exercise for the conjunctions. Another interesting exercise that you have is preparing an invitation card. Okay, so you have to create an invitation card. Now I don't know how you're going to do it here because you cannot share photos over here. You could do that on WhatsApp, but this is an exercise on textbook page 142. I mean it. Okay, so your SSC textbook, and the page is 142. It's about the preparation of an invitation card for a photography exhibition. And they have said that when you create that invitation, you'll have to use the following things to create that invitation. So let's go to the next page, and invitation, you have to provide the invitation using the following. So you have to talk about the program for that day, then you would have to talk about the day, you have to talk about the date, you have to talk about the time, you have to talk about the venue, you have to talk about making a request. Of course, you cannot order, you have to make a humble request for people to be there, and appeal to, you know, appeal to visit. I mean, the main thing is why should they visit. That's a very important thing. So this is something that I want you to pay proper attention at. This is the one question that the board has not asked since the launch of this syllabus, page 142. I really want you to do this. You can actually do this and send a photo on WhatsApp to me. So think about it properly. I mean, how should you draft the invitation? This is just like creating an advertisement for a new shop. I believe we have done so about a blood donation camp. We've done so about a book exhibition. And you guys were there even for in the 9th standard at PCC. We've done that. One more thing that is there that I would like you to do at home as practice is the do's and the don'ts for a student while preparing for their exams. That's a very important thing. Now this one you could easily do that over here in the chat. So let's do this. It's the do's and the don'ts. The do's and don'ts. Okay, for the students preparing for their SSC final exam. So let's talk about this for objectively for 5 marks. Then you have to come up with at least 4 points each, total 8 or even 5. I mean, it's better if you have 5, but ideally you should go for 8 at least minimum. What are the do's? So start by typing the do's. What are the do's for the students preparing for their SSC final exam? Right. Hello, Ricky. Hello to all the people who have just joined us. Okay, because whenever I'm explaining, I'm not really attentive towards who is joining us or something like that. The other details. But okay, we are discussing at the moment the do's and don'ts. That is a very good writing skill question for on the topic the students preparing for their SSC final exam. What are the do's and don'ts? What are the things that they should do, the things that they should not do? You can discuss up to 4 or 5 points on do's. Writing in the chat will be acceptable, by the way. So do not just do it on a piece of paper. You can actually start typing over here in the chat. What are the do's and what should the students of SSC do, and what are the things that you should avoid. Keep yourself hydrated. Sure, Ricky, that's right. Keep yourself hydrated. Fairly nice point. It's the summer, so you should do that. That's one of the ways about talking, uh, one of the ways to keep yourself healthy. So yes, the other points are also applicable, like having fresh fruits, maintaining a steady diet, a light exercise, all those things, right? 6 to 8 hours of sleep, right, Ritesh? Yes, 6 to 8 hours of sleep, they can easily do that. Yes, so let's make a list of it on the word. Keep yourself hydrated. Next page, please. You're talking about the do's. So your point was keep themselves hydrated. Oops. Then 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Of course, they have to ensure that. I'm going to use the word ensure. 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Fine. One more. Avoid overeating. Never panic before exams. Yes, keep calm. And then you have what? Avoid overeating. Okay. Avoid overeating. Sure. Avoid overeating. But then that's don'ts, right? If you say avoid overeating, that's in the don'ts. Yeah. So what can we do in the don'ts? Avoid overeating is a fair point, but we can discuss this when we do the don'ts. Again, don't get demotivated after talking to your friends at exam hall. Sure, again, that is in the don'ts section. Can we complete the do's point with one more good point? Now we are 24 guys chatting together, okay? 24 guys over here. So if I have not said hello to the new uh, people, I'm sorry. Meditation, yes, that's in the do's. They can, yes, they can meditate for some time. That is to relax, of course. And now let's talk about the don'ts. So what are the don'ts? Should not overeat. I'll take that point here. They should not overeat. Let's put that as a hyphen. Yeah. Yes, they should not forget the hall ticket. Well, okay, they should not forget the hall ticket, but how that a part of their preparation? By the way, preparation before they leave for the examination hall. Sure, they should not discuss the answers with their friends after, or that is they should not panic after they have done their best. Yeah, they should not panic after they have done their best. What else is it that you can add here about the don't? Don't be pressurized. Do not do studies during exams. I would say do not do shouldn't study at night during exams. Well, I don't understand that. But yes, don't compromise on your sleeping hours, the number of hours you sleep. Don't worry about the result. Focus on studies. Yes, sure. That is in the do. So do not worry. So should not worry. Too much. Yeah, what else? Don't worry about the result. Yeah, I think that's also fair enough. They should not worry about the result. Could we have anything else? Don't get motivated after talking about your studies. Don't get demotivated. Sorry. Don't get demotivated after talking about studies with your friends. Yeah. Yes, yes. Have self-belief. Okay, that could be in the do's, not in the don'ts. But yeah, that's a fair point. Have self-belief. That is, have total faith in yourself and your own preparation. Fair enough, guys. That's okay. But then one more point in don'ts. Do not compromise on your sleeping hours. Yeah, number of hours that you sleep. Yes. Uh, do not, do not what? Do not study all 24 hours. Do not exert yourself. That's that is they should not. Yeah, I've used this format. So should not exert themselves beyond their capacity. It's very important. You should not exert yourself beyond your capacity. That's avoid aerated drinks outside food. Yeah, that's a fair point. Brilliant. Thanks, Ricky. That's a very nice point. Avoid aerated drinks like cola, ice popsicles, outside food, junk food. You must definitely avoid it. Okay. Another thing I would like to share with you is that the chapter Shade of Red is very important. It's about henna, and the question about Mehndi, being Mehndi artist, as you know, taking that as a career, or thinking, contemplating that as a career opportunity. That's very likely. That it seems very likely. Not many times you will find that this passage has been asked, so it's very likely. And it is that very chapter where you have a lot of code mixing questions, because you have henna, you have in Mughals, you have this scientific name for henna, which is Lawsonia inermia, something like that. You have those words there, so you can expect that question surely. And a personal response question there will be, have you ever drawn mehndi on your hands? How was your experience? Now if this question is asked, boys shouldn't go in a panic mode. They should say that although I have never done a mehndi on my hands, I have seen people doing that, and it's a very pleasurable experience, and it also has got medicinal value, and along with the aesthetic beauty, or along with the aesthetic factor. So don't just write the answer that no, I have never done it, so uh, I really can't say much. You have to be positive about it. Even if you have not drawn mehndi or done mehndi, you know people who have. So talk about that. Okay, one more. uh, don't forget the belongings is what Shritesh is saying for do's and don'ts. Yeah, sure. They should not forget their hall ticket, someone said. I agree with you. Okay. If you remember the poem Our Treasure, here is a question on page 136 that will that should have your attention. Page 136. You have this question: visit an old age home. You have this question, and then they want you to mention about the number of inmates there, that is the number of people staying there, what are their age group, what about their financial background, what is the reason that they are in that old age home, how's their physical condition, what are the recreation facilities available to them. So that is a very, very good topic for report writing. I want to make it very clear. Let's make a note of it as well. We're talking about a report, and the report is about visit to an old age home. Okay, what are the points that I told just now? You have number of residents, or the inmates. Inmates are the people who will stay, and that's a word that you should know. Then you should talk about their age group. You should talk about their financial background. Not all the people will have a solid background, so you have to say that some people were brought there by the volunteers. The reason for their stay, very important. What is the reason for their stay? Some people might be there simply because they have no children of their own, and some people could be there because of their children. that's very that's a very nice way of using the language. I repeat that some, you can say that some of them are there because they have no children, and some were there because they have children, who really have a lack of understanding, and they don't understand the importance of the elderly. Then you have to talk about their physical condition, how much they, you can talk about how much they miss their home, and you can lastly talk about their recreational facilities. You can talk about what are the facilities provided to them, do they get proper food on time. Very important. This is on page 136 of your textbook, and believe me, again, not many a times has this question been asked. Also, let's consider for a moment that this could be a report writing thing, but they could also ask you to frame 10 questions for an inmate or a resident of the old age home. Yes, Mahesh, we will talk about speech writing, and welcome. Thanks for joining us. We will talk about speech writing. But yes, remember, I was making my point. I'll come again with this, that this particular old age home, you could be asked to frame 10 questions for someone who actually is an inmate who actually stays in an old age home. So what are the 10 questions that you can ask this person? It's a very, very nice thing. We will go to speech writing, but before that, could you frame 10 questions? Just consider that this is not a report. Let's say the question is, frame 10 question for someone who lives in an old age home. So what are the 10 questions that you would ask those guys? Very important. Let's see how many you can actually think of. Yes. Yes, Ritaj, and on page 212, the activity that you're talking about is also an important one. It is related to Mother India, and what is Mother India expecting from us? Now, Shravani Joshi is saying, from when have you been staying there? Yes, for if the question is, for how long have you been staying here? Yes, Dipesh, you're right. It can also be an autobiography of an inmate. Yeah, no doubt about that. What you consider the better, your home or old age home? Yeah, I believe that's a very basic question. You will always say home. Yeah, but then the point is that if he's there because of his children, then maybe he can easily say that I prefer the old age home because at least I am not mentally tortured there. So that question makes sense. And are you happy staying here? Well, that's a meaningful question, sure. Why do you live here? So why do you live here is not why do you leave here. It should actually be live here. Why do you live here will be a little arrogant. Why do you have to live here? That's a better thing. Okay, I'll make it clear again. If you ask the question, why do you live here, is arrogant. And if you ask the same question as, why do you have to live here, is sympathetic. Yeah, that's important. Why do you live here, and why do you have to live here? Any message for future generation? Yes. So you could ask them, what do you expect the youngsters of today to understand? uh, how's the facilities, how are the facilities available here? Yeah. Dipesh wants to know about the participle. Well, you should have been for this lecture right from the start, because I gave you the difference between a participle and a gerund. Let's see if I have that file yet. Hmm, I thought that. Okay, here you go. Look at this. So I did teach this. Now I want you to understand. Read the examples carefully. It was very much during this lecture that we talked about. Yeah, I was listening to some old songs, and I like listening to old songs. Participles are verbs, Deepesh. Basically, just remember that. Participles are actions, and gerunds are infinitives. Okay, they are nouns. So look at the examples over here. I was listening to some old songs. That's a participle because you were listening. So the action of listening was going on. And then line B is I like listening to old songs. Is I like to listen to old songs. So there it is a gerund. No problem, Dipesh. You're welcome. Okay, now, yes, Shritesh was right. We can definitely discuss the activity on 212, page number 212. What Mother India expects from her children. There are many points given over there, but then you would be expected to write only about 5 points. I don't think you have to write more than that for 5 marks that you will attempt it for. Talking of speech, let's start with that. Uh, you always make a start with good morning or whatever is applicable. You will probably continue with respected teachers, whoever are there. You welcome them basically. And then you would also mention the reason why you've gathered there. You have to, or the gathering. Let's say the reason for your gathering is what you have to mention. Then you make a paragraph, and then that's the body of the speech. Should go on for about 3/4 of the full scape at least. And then in the end you express your thanks. You say that you're thankful that they listen to you, and you also draw a conclusion. What are the topics that I expect this year? The topics are, yes, Vijay, we will discuss page 70, no doubt about that. We will do that. But going back to this particular point, the topic that I expect this year is, that we are very keen nowadays on Swachh Bharat, and Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is really, it's everywhere, and you can feel its impact. The speech could be easily about keeping your environment clean, keeping your surroundings clean, and what you as a student can do for it. That's the one thing that you can expect. Let's talk about subordinators and coordinators. All right. So, coordinators and or but yet at your level, and they make a compound sentence. You have to remember that by now. If you talk about the subordinators, you're talking about that until, because, since, before, after, as, although, so many. These are all subordinators, okay? and they make a complex sentence. Just remember that. You just remember this. Coordinators will make a compound sentence. The subordinators will make a complex sentence. Okay. The activity now that Vijay was talking about, I hope his name is Vijay. It's the activity about a report that a footballer faces suspension after attack on a spectator, world champion swimmer suspended after drug test. And the point is, this is a view and counter view. This could easily be changed as a view and counter view question. I mean, what do you think about the players' reaction to spectators and their comments? So you could say that the player has to focus on the game and not what the spectators are doing. But on the flip side, you must agree that the players also are human beings after all, and they are just as sensitive to topics as we all are. So what if they are sports person? They have their own mind and they do get affected by the comments and by media. Very important. As far as the drug abuse is concerned, which is there on page 70, that you could easily say that there is no compromise on that particular point. The player must actually be free from, a sports person especially should be very honest and sincere. And on the counter view side, you have to say that that can happen because nowadays there's so much of competition and everyone wants to fight only for the gold. Of course everybody does fight for gold, but then the competition is so much that they resort to such ideas and they succumb to pressure and they start the intake of drugs and they abuse, they involve themselves in drug abuse. So that's a very important question. Easily I think that that could be a view counter view question, and page 70 is where it is. Page 79, you're saying there are abbreviations on page 79. Yeah, there are. But they are more scientific in nature because that's from Rising the Sun lesson, so they are not as important as the other things are. Okay, here is another thing. How about an information transfer? It could easily be about the vitamins that has been seen at least in two of the papers in Mumbai. It was about, the passage was about vitamins and the sources of vitamin A, B, C, and so on. And then you had to make or change it in tabular format. I mean, what is the name of the vitamin? What are the sources that you can derive them? What you can get from where you can get those vitamins? And what happens if you don't have enough vitamins? That is a deficiency disease. That was the one thing that you should prepare for. Let's go to the flow chart. Some schools, if you remember, some school teachers have just wanted the flow chart where it runs from the top to the bottom, that's all. But I want you to go to page 9 of your textbook. Page 9. If you go to page 9, you would have a process or a flow chart. It's about tying a tie based on that unit 1.2. And if you see, those are also steps. So it's a flow chart on page 9. And it does not go from the top to the bottom. Does not go vertically like that. So I completely agree with that. That is the way to do the flow chart, not necessarily in vertical format. Of course, vertical one is not wrong. You can go forward and use that if you like. But on page number 9, it's a classic flow chart. You have to do it that way. The point is, the sheet is small, Sritej, I agree, but then it depends also on the number of steps. I mean, it's just a question of 5 marks. I agree, if there are about 8 or 9 different steps, then you cannot manage it vertically. That's why I am actually in favor of the way it is on page number 9, which is not vertically. But some school teachers I have seen that they are very adamant on this, and they feel that they have to, the students should do it vertically. Yeah. Shravani is asking if the black pen is okay. No, black pen is not okay. You have to use the blue ink. Strictly only use the blue. So page number 9, just remember that. Okay, that's the way I want you to do the flow charts. And if you remember on WhatsApp, I did ask you about collective nouns. So that's based on page 28. Imagery is when Sanjana, right? Sanjana, okay, hello Sanjana. The point is, imagery is where you show something by using different words. That's called imagery, where some words stand as a token for something else. Like the word treasure is actually for the people, the elderly people. Our treasure poem. So if you talk about our treasure, you are actually referring to the elderly. So that is an imagery. Yeah. Sir, drawing the boxes and paper should be with pencil. Yeah, okay, pencil. I would prefer you use the pencil for this, not the pen. And pencil is the only black, Shravani, if you're listening, pencil is the only black color that you can use. Don't use a black pen. You can use the pencil, and I think that's the only black color that you can have. So Shravani is saying, sir, now I have written 3 papers with black ink. So now, no, nothing. Use the same brand, but change the ink. What's the difference? Switch to the blue. You can, yes, you can use the same brand. That's it. If you use a cello, use a cello. It's just that you can just switch the color. And going to the third unit, that is something important. Here is a nice topic which is not in the textbook that I'd like to discuss with you. You've told the pencil box is mandatory for a fact file, but we should do everything with the pencil. What to do? No. Shritesh, come on, what happened to you? Yes, with the pencil. So I never said you don't do it. Do it with the pencil. Yes, pencil is the only black color that you can use, I said. So use the pencil. No problem there. Use the pencil for the box. No problem there, Shritesh. Okay, I was discussing something which is not in the textbook. Since your exams are in March, and that's exactly the season of the IPL, it will start in April, go on to end in May. This is a very nice topic. I mean, they could be asking you something like this. Okay, they will be asking you. Imagine that. They won't say imagine. They would directly say that your cousin has been selected to play in the IPL for the Mumbai Indians. Write a letter to him congratulating him for his achievement. That's a very fair point there, actually. It's a very, very nice topic. Shritaj, the drawing should be done with the pen, you say. So what do you say about the underlining of important words? You mean to say you're going to underline the important words also with the pen? I don't think that that is something that you should do with a pen only. You can do it with the pen, but you can also do it with a pencil. I mean, imagine your drawing, your geometry, your science diagrams and figures. You would use pencil, right? So just if pencil is allowed for that, for an English paper merely to draw a box or to draw an outline, pencil is definitely allowed. Anyway, so this is a very important writing skill topic. Imagine this, how big it is. Your cousin has been selected to play in the IPL. Talking of cricket, in PCC we do have Raj More who plays professional cricket. Hope that this news be true about him someday. I am sure that Raj plays cricket. I mean, at a certain level beyond gully cricket. Yeah. Yes. Thanks, Ritij. You can use the pencil. I mean, I don't understand why it cannot be used at all. You draw margin with it. I mean, you can draw a sub margin, right? You can do that. So pencil is perfectly okay. It is only to create an impression, create a box. It's okay. However, if you want to follow some rule and do it with a pen, you can do that. I have no problem with that. But don't use a black pen for sure. Okay. How can this question be flipped? Imagine that they'll say that your cousin has been selected to play in the IPL. What are the 10 questions you're likely to ask him? So this question could also be in a form of a questionnaire. No pencil whatsoever. Okay. So, uh, yes, Ravni, thank you. Raj has been selected in the under 19 team along with Arjun Tendulkar. Well, that's a great thing. That is awesome achievement. Okay, brilliant. That's an awesome achievement. I'm happy. So we at PCC could be having someone here. The topic is applicable. All right. Whoa, really? Anyway, let's discuss this pen pencil thing objectively. There are only a few occasions where you will have to use a pencil. That's number one. In English, you don't really have to draw diagrams or something like that. It's only in case where you have to underline a particular word, or you just have to draw a box for outline of a fact file, etc. Otherwise, you honestly don't have the use of pencil at all. So I don't understand where this is coming from. But again, I will say, if your teachers have advised you only pen, well, okay, you can use only the pen. It's just that don't use a black pen. Okay, Shravani is also concurring to that. Hi, Music Kingdom. How are you? Guys, if so, then go ahead, use only the pen, but surely not the black pen. Okay, but honestly, I don't understand why there is an apprehension about using pencil. The only thing is that the pencil things can be erased. That's the only thing. Apart from that, nothing more. Another question is what I'd like to discuss with you is on, wait a second, page 165, the word formation. On page 165, you have this wonderful uh, word formation structure where the same has to be changed from noun to adjective to verb to adverbs. I strongly recommend you see the videos on the verb forms and the noun forms that I have. Hmm. Okay. On page 165, you have this first one where verb is avail. So what is the noun form of avail? That's a good one. That's a really nice one. Let's draw the box here. On the next page. Okay, let's complete this. Okay, now here you have the noun form. Here you would have to write down the adjective, then the verb form. Here you have to write down the adverb form. The first they have given is avail. So how to go about that? Avail. So what is the noun form? Noun form of avail. Availability, some people say. That's right. Availability. That's right. Availability. I'll probably reduce the font size. Availability. What's the adjective here? Available. Okay, that could be right. Sure. Availability is the noun. Available is the adjective. Okay, verb was given. What about the adverb form? What about the adverb, guys? What about the adverb form? That's a good one. That's a very good one. What about the adverb form? Adjective is available, agreed, agreed, agreed. What about the adverb form? By the way, this is on page 165. Availably? No. Availably. Okay. Availably. Is there any such word? Availably. No. Availably. To the best of my knowledge, actually, it will remain blank. You don't have the adverb form. Don't have it. Okay, the next one is grateful. We will, guys, just discuss this and then we will go to our WhatsApp because we have promised our friends. So, no, there is no adverb. Grateful is what we'll discuss. Greatness, noun form. Agreed. Gratefulness, right? Yeah, gratefulness, I believe. Is great the noun form of grateful? Reduce food? No. Here, actually, the verb form doesn't apply because great means completely something different, something else. And gratefully is the adverb form. Well, do that. Gratitude is okay. Gratefulness is also correct, and gratitude, Vijay. That's right. Gratitude is also correct. Would you conduct one more YouTube session? Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. But you guys have to be there. Because the point is the 10th standard guys towards the evenings or late nights, and they're not available. So we'll try to. Okay, so can we move to our WhatsApp now? Okay. Srishti Kalambe saying yes. Nidhi Chavan is okay. Time for another session. Is it okay if I let you know via WhatsApp? By the way, you all have to tell me, was my voice very clear? I mean, everything, was it perfect for you? Did you enjoy this? You have to tell me that. Very important. Was it useful? We discussed a lot of things here. Hmm. Hope it was clear. Shaunak. Okay, what is he doing here? Is he here? Anyway, voice is absolutely clear. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Increase the voice, please. Rest all enjoyed. Okay, thank you so much, and we will meet again. At the moment it is almost 4, so yes, it was really pleasure. Even pleasure was mine as well. So we will stop this for the moment, guys, and then we will get back to WhatsApp because other friends are also waiting there. Okay, I've already started getting inquiries about it. So we will meet again on YouTube for sure. Okay, we will do something about it. There's no doubt about this. And actually, this is 101 where we all are together, where we could resolve our doubts and everything. Okay. Oh, Music Kingdom is Shaunak. All right, Music Kingdom is Shaunak. I thought that based on the thumbnail. Okay, so hello Shaunak. You almost joined us when we are about to stop. Okay, but I'm hopeful that you will join us the next time. All right, then, guys, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for joining. Join us later as well. Bye bye.